Welcome back to Captain Crypto's Compass, and in this video we're going to look at Cardano ADA. Now, we've recently seen the formation of a symmetrical triangle, and I've gone ahead and pulled up the charts, and I'm going to show you high conviction areas of accumulation and a potential breakout and what my targets are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the chart.
Hi, I'm Martin. I'm the founder of Captain Crypto's Compass. I'm a trader and a professor at the Financial Freedom Academy. I am passionate about helping you to achieve financial freedom through the art and the gift of trading. I will be providing you with actionable technical analysis and insights on your favorite cryptocurrency projects to help you make better and more informed decisions. If you're ready to take your trading to the next level, you're in the right place.
So here's Cardano on the 1 week chart on Binance. Now, the first thing that I want to draw attention to is the symmetrical triangle pattern that we see. Now, we can see that we've seen a downtrend with Cardano, also combined with an uptrend from the pivot highs to pivot lows, and this is forming this beautiful symmetrical triangle on Cardano for us. So that's the first pattern that I want us to have a look at, and I'm waiting for a push higher and break above this top trend line for a potential push into our key resistance areas and higher targets. But for now, it looks like it's still forming the pattern. We're still inside of this triangle, so I'm looking out for key market structure. For me, the first thing that I want to look at is our key support levels. We can see that we had a triple bottom in Cardano inside of one of our key Fibonacci support zones. Now, taking a measured move from our pivot lows to highs to lows, this highlight gives us this key area between the 0.5 and 618. So let me just show this to you. From pivot lows to pivot highs to pivot lows, you can see that highlights this key area of support for us over here. And we can see that Cardano has respected this 3 times already at the bottom end of the symmetrical triangle. So support has come in. We saw a massive rally push higher to reclaim our moving averages. So we can see the green line and the yellow line is our 21 and 50 SMA. And we can see that we have reclaimed those moving averages, came back down to retest it, holding that as support, and we are currently trying to break the symmetrical triangle with a downtrend on the top side. You can see that we have failed, and we're coming back down to support now. Now, this area here of support, I've gone ahead and highlighted for us on top of the support bands and the moving averages between roughly about 78 cents all the way back down to the 68 cents. So this would be high probability areas of reaccumulation for Cardano for a potential breakout of the symmetrical triangle. So it looks like it has found support in the interim. It's trying to make a push higher. So this is looking fantastic for me. Now, looking at our targets here with support coming in and this impulsive push higher, I've highlighted the 0.5 and 618 Fibonacci resistance targets. Now, taking the Fibonacci extensions from our pivot low to pivot high to pivot low, you can see this gave us a resistance pocket between the 0.5 and 618, sitting at roughly about $1.10 all the way back up to this $1.33. So this would be a logical target for me for Cardano to push into this pivot highs. You can see we have a couple of pivot highs in this area as well with a potential breakout setup. So for me, if that were to be the case and we can start finding support on top of our moving averages at the bottom end of the symmetrical triangle, there is a potential for a push higher into this zone of roughly about 30 to about 58% for Cardano, which is fantastic.
Hey, I hope you're still enjoying the content. Remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and to ring the bell for notifications. Your support means the world to me personally, and I cannot do this without you.
Now, the 2 scenarios that I'm looking out for here for this breakout, one would be a deeper retracement back to the lower end of the symmetrical triangle and then pushing higher. So that would look something like this, with a potential push lower into this support pocket and then coming back up to this trend line, holding that as resistance, and then finally, if we can hold support above, push higher into this pattern over here. The other scenario is we'll actually start holding now on the moving averages here, and the breakout will be a little bit sooner, but I'm still looking for the same signal. I'm looking for a push and a break above this trend line and holding it as support for a potential push into this resistance pocket over here. Now, if we can do this and start holding support inside of this zone, this will open up the way for Cardano to actually break out to the upside. Now, a couple of targets here. If we just take a measured move of the symmetrical triangle and I take a trend line and I pull it from the top of the trend line to the bottom of the trend line, and I just visually give us a representation of what could be possible, we can see that we do have some potential for a retesting of our previous pivot high that we formed in August in 2021. Now, this is a fantastic setup. As soon as we see a breakout above the symmetrical triangle, I would expect to see some fireworks for Cardano, but at the moment it seems like it's still forming this pattern. So I'm looking out for this breakout in the future. Key areas of resistance would be between the 0.5 and 618, between this 110 and 133. The next key area that I'm looking out for are these pivot highs over here. See, you've got a pivot high, pivot highs between roughly about 160 and $1.88, and then obviously this range here at the top end of the price sitting at roughly about 236 to about 311. So these are my potential targets. We can also see that the 1.72 and 1.618 are also giving us a potential increase of targets of $3.67 and the 1.618 at $6.29. Now, I'm not sure if we will be able to reach those, but we have to keep it in mind of what is possible for these blow off top situations, especially when with altcoin season around the corner. So this is the setup that I'm currently looking for accumulation between the 78 cents and this roughly 68 cents, and then a break above the symmetrical triangle to push into these high areas. Profit potential is sitting at roughly 30% to about 58%. To the higher zone will be between 90% and 120%. And if we do manage to keep up the momentum, the previous all-time highs are sitting at roughly 180 to almost 265%. So that's a fantastic upside potential for Cardano if it can just hold this market structure with the potential symmetrical triangle breakout to the upside. So looking fantastic. I'm looking out for this, and I'm excited to see what Cardano does in the next couple of months. Peace and love, and happy trading.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and hit the bell notifications. Also, remember to click the link in the description below to join my mailing list, where I'll be sending you free emails and trading videos, and also market report updates weekly to help you stay ahead of the herd. As always, this community would not be the same without you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Peace and love. See you next time.